Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Cultural Coast. I'm Theresa Fieberts. And I see lots of bright lights. Lots of bright lights right here in front of me, next to me. And I'm imagining those on the camera. Thank you for being with us. I do believe, even though sometimes it's difficult to find it, I do believe that we live in a loving and supportive universe. I do believe that this is a spiritual experience that we're having while in a human body, a space earth suit, our earth suit. And what we do when we gather every Sunday morning, whether we're doing it in person here or we're doing it online, but we're gathering to remind each other of that truth, because life gets tough sometimes. And our theme this entire year is to live everyday wonder. And so this has been a tough week. It's been a challenging week. And to be able to live in wonder in the midst of our challenges is a real triumph. And it takes each other, it takes us as community to do that, I believe. And you know, to walk the spiritual path, there are no promises that there won't be challenges. We will always have loss. We will always have challenges. And it's how we rise within that that really makes a difference in our lives and the lives of the people around us. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for this community. I'm grateful to have people around me that I care about and that I know care about me. I'm grateful for all of you that tune in, whether you do it on Sunday morning, whether you do it on a Friday evening, whenever, that you check in. It means a lot because we are beloveds traveling together. So many already know that Friday morning we lost a... Thought I could get through this without crying. We lost a dear, dear person, a member of our community, Mindy Simmons, early Friday morning. Very, very quick illness. And I have a beloved practitioner that's said to me that Mindy was the 6th person in her circle of blessings to leave her world in the last 6 months. And you know, just shy of 6 months ago, I lost my dear friend, Chris Robinson. And I know that Sunday evening, we also lost Hank Comel. I saw a video last night that Hank on YouTube, he was being interviewed downtown on what is the purpose of life. And he said, to boogie, because he had just been out dancing, and anybody that knew Hank knew him dancing, saw him dancing. But then he said the real purpose is for us to share our hearts, to share our hearts. What a beautiful message. That was in 2017 that he said that, but for us to go back and look and remember that. And Mindy left us a legacy, a legacy. I want to read a poem by Thich Nhat Hanh. I asked the leaf whether it was frightened because it was autumn and the other leaves were falling. The leaf told me no. During the whole spring and summer, I was completely alive. I worked hard to help nourish the tree. And now much of me is in the tree. I am not limited by this form. I am also the whole tree, and when I go back to the soil, I will continue to nurture and nourish the tree. So I don't worry at all. As I leave this branch and float to the ground, I will wave to the tree and tell her, I will see you again very soon. That day, there will be a wind blowing, and after a while, I saw the leaf leave the branch and float down to the soil, dancing joyfully. It was so happy. I bowed my head, knowing that I have a lot to learn from a leaf. So please look, and you will see that you have always been here. Let us look together and penetrate into the life of a leaf, so we may be one with the leaf. Let us penetrate and be one with everything, to realize our own nature and to be free from fear. If we look very deeply, we will transcend birth and death. Tomorrow, I will continue to be. But you will have to be very attentive to see me. I will be a flower or a leaf. I will be in these forms, and I will say hello to you. If you are attentive enough, you will recognize me, and you may greet me, and I will be happy. Thich Nhat Hanh.
Good morning, everyone. It's an honor to be here. I'll be using a few Sanskrit words in these songs, and I will explain the meaning of these words. So the words Ang Sung Waheguru means, and I really want everybody to digest the meaning of these beautiful words, the dynamic, loving energy of the infinite source of all is dancing within every cell of me. I'm going to repeat that. The dynamic, loving energy of the infinite source of all is dancing within every cell of me. Just imagine that. This mantra is called 1,000 Suns. Waheguru Unsung Waheguru. 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 May the light of 1,000 suns shine through. Live the life of grace that you are meant to. May the light of 1,000 suns shine through. Live the life of grace that you are meant to. Waheguru. 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 Darkness to light. Darkness to light. Darkness to light. Waheguru. Darkness to light. Darkness to light. Waheguru. 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 Carry the light of God's love into this world. Be the open heart the earth longs for. Carry the light of God's love into the world. Be the open heart the earth longs for. Can you feel it? 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 Can you feel it in your heart? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Open your heart. Can you feel it? Open your heart. Open your heart. Open your heart. Can you feel it? Open your heart. Open your heart. Open your heart. Can you feel it? Unsung Waheguru. Ang Sang 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 Waheguru. Waheguru.
Good morning, everyone. It's great to be live again. Feel like a host on Saturday Night Live. Anyway, I just want to start by saying God bless Mindy and Hank. And my piece today is from Science of Mind, beautiful piece that I want to read to you. People suffer because they are caught in their views. As soon as we release those views, we are free and we don't suffer anymore. That's by Thich Nhat Hanh. The highest perception of mankind has been his sense of inner oneness with spirit. The more completely one becomes conscious of this divine union, the more power and peace he has over his existence. By the awesome Ernest Holmes. Vietnamese Buddhist monk and peace activist Thich Nhat Hanh tells a story of Vietnamese refugees who escaped from the war in their country in a raft. While at sea, they might have faced rough weather conditions, starvation, and even piracy. If everyone on the boat had lost their sense of peace and well-being, then all would have been lost. But as long as there was just one person who remained calm and held the consciousness of peace and love within, then all could still be well. One person centered in truth within can cast a transformation vibration. If there's one left to hold the greater vision of what is possible, it becomes easy for the fear to take over. Be that one person to glorify God in the midst of confusion. I have heard it said, by peace I give to you, not as the world gives, but as I give to you. Peace as the world gives comes through external circumstances. It's when your world is spinning out of control that you have the ability to know a higher vibration. The peace that is realized within will forever reestablish harmony in the outer circumstance. Whatever degree of good is to appear in your world will be a result of what is first established in your consciousness, irrespective of the conditions you find yourself in. I'm always free to go within and choose peace and love. Thank you.
Theresa spoke about the inner life, our inner garden. We know there's a special light within us. We can feel it. It's just a matter of calling out that light. Now, the two Sanskrit words in this mantra are Hari, which means remover, like remover of obstacles, remover of suffering, and Sat Nam, which is used as a greeting like Namaste, but it also means true identity or striving to be your highest self. In the second part of the mantra, we should sing this together. Hari Om, dear Lord Satanam, holy name. When I call out the light within, I go home. Hari Om, dear Lord Satanam, holy name. When I call out the light within, I go home. Hari Om, dear Lord Satanam, holy name. When I call out the light within, I go home. Hari Om, dear Lord Satanam, holy name. When I call out the light within, I go home. Call out the light within, I call out the light within, I call out the light, I call out the light, call out the light within, call out the light within. Everybody, I call out the light within, I call out the light, I call out the light, call out the light within, call out the light within, I call out the light within, call out the light, I call out the light, call out the light within, calling out the light within. Hello, I'm calling out the light within, call out the light, I call out the light. Yeah. Hari Om, dear Lord Satanama, holy name. When I call out the light within, I go home. Hari Om, dear Lord Satanama, holy name. When I call out the light within, I go home. Hari Om, dear Lord Satanam, holy name. When I call out the light within, I go home. Hari Om, dear Lord Satanam, holy name. When I call out the light within, I go home. Call out the light within, I call out the light within, call out the light, I call out the light, call out the light within, call out the light within, I call out the light within, call out the light, I call out the light, call out the light within, calling out the light within, I'm calling on the light within, call on the light, I call on the light, call on the light within. Hari Om, dear Lord Satanama, holy name. When I call out the light within, I go home. Coming home. Hari Om, dear Lord Satanam, holy name. When I call out the light within, I go home. Call out the light within, I call out the light within, calling on the light, I call on the light, call on the light within, call on the light within, I call on the light within, call on the light, I call on the light, call on the light within, I call on the light within, I'm calling on the light within, call on the light, I call on the light, call I call on the light, call on the light within. Hari Om, dear Lord, Satanama, holy name. When I call on the light within, I go home.
That was our otherworldly affirmation right there. So thank you.
I love you.
I love you. I've been instructed to move. Is this okay? All right. All right. Steve, thank you. Never ceases to amaze me how without manipulation, there's such a synergy when we allow it. That's just beautiful. And Mike, your reading was just so perfect and spot on. We're honoring Thich Nhat Hanh this morning as well, which is fitting since he left us just recently. So living from the inside out, that is what we're talking about, specifically today and next week. As I guess I'm considering this part one, cleaning up the mess that happens inside sometimes, up in here, up in this space. I started the last 2 Sundays reading 2 quotes, and I'm going to continue because I think they are so fantastic, and this is really where I'm coming from. Socrates said, "An unexamined life is not worth living." I can't imagine living a life in unexamined at this point. I just can't even imagine. And then the other is a Chinese proverb. When the eye is not blocked, the result is vision. When the mind is not blocked, the result is wisdom. And when spirit is not blocked, the result is love. Love. So this is where I'm coming from. This is what's behind. This is the inspiration for what I really want to talk about this month. And last week we talked about cause and effect, and which is just Science of Mind 101. But we're calling each other to wake up from our slumber, to wake up to that voice within, the little v, the little voice, not the still small voice as much as that little voice. What is it ranting about? What is it rambling about? Pay attention to that. Today I want to clean that up a little bit, help each other clean that up, because we're creating from that place. All the drama we see out in the world is coming from somewhere. It's coming from somewhere. And I believe we're living from the inside out. We're unfolding that way. Life unfolds that way. So if we can begin to clean up this stuff that's up here, I think we're marching in a good direction. And now, everything is not within our control. I have to say that because we wouldn't have lost Mindy Friday and we wouldn't have lost Hank last Sunday, right? I mean, they still had a lot of life to live. Everything's not within our control. And my girlfriend, Chris, wouldn't have died in that car accident in August. Wouldn't have happened. But it happened. It happened. Our reaction, however, is within our control. What we think about it, how we come together in community, how we love one another, how we help one another, all that's within our control. I believe we're here to wake up to those kinds of things, to wake up and to be joy-filled. And I believe it is so possible. I know it's possible to be joy-filled when we still have sorrow, when we have sadness. But there's still that life, that spark, that thing, that love, that thing that's real, that transcends every other thing that happens in our lives, right? And it's authentic, it's real to each one of us when we tap into it and when we allow it to move through us. And I want us all to be able to live from that kind of a confidence, from that, because it lifts us, it strengthens us. You know, I think Mindy walked with that kind of a thing. You know, there was, because Mindy was passionate about things that went on in the world. Very, very passionate. So she got angry. She got angry, like you said, Steve. Yeah? We get angry at things that go on, that things that are not of love. They don't appear to be of love. Quite the contrary. But, you know, there was such joy in Mindy all the time. Even in the midst of that, because it was passion, it was love moving through her. You know? So, this week, today, this morning, how about we befriend the darkness? Are you thinking, what? Befriend the darkness. Befriend our sadness. Befriend means to offer help, to assist, to support. Can we assist and be of help and support the darkness? I think we can. And the first thing we have to do is get comfortable with discomfort. You know? Life isn't always comfortable. It doesn't always feel comfortable. But when we push it away, we're doing ourselves and others a disservice. Now, I want to say that what I'm going to talk about today is I'm not talking about those of us that have really suffered trauma and we're moving through that at this time. That's something different. But our fears and our resentments and our anger and our unwillingness to forgive, those kinds of things add to our stuckness. You know what I mean? I see a couple heads not bobbing. I think you know what I mean. But if you're experiencing real trauma, please seek help. We have people in our community. It's like they say experts are standing by. We have experts that are standing by. We have people in our community that are loving and that are spiritual, and we have some that are even certified with doing trauma work. So please reach out. And of course you have Rev G and myself for spiritual counseling. You have our practitioners. These are times to pull together. Now I'm going to repeat something that I said again last week. But I'd like you, this can be a mantra of yours. A thought plus a feeling equals a manifestation. A thought plus a feeling equals manifestation. I said last week that my first teacher in this philosophy was Reverend David Owen Ritz. And he used to say that. Thought plus a feeling equals a manifestation. And to remember that. That's why the science mind symbol, the creative process, is tattooed on my arm, remembering all the time. I am creating from the inside out. I don't want to ever forget that. Now, we have injustices that have happened in the world, and damn it, they're still happening. Like Steve says, when are we going to evolve? They're still happening. But you know what? I can't be a part of that evolution if I'm stuck in injustices. I can't stay stuck there. And some of us, doggone it, we borrow other people's injustices. You know, it didn't even happen to us. It happened to our kid or our parent or our sister or our brother, and we wear it like some doggone badge of honor. It's not. It's not. It's destructive. And I think that there's some basic premises that we stand upon that we need to look at. Is this a friendly universe? Do you feel like it's a friendly universe? You know? Is it for you or against you? Is life for you or against you? Is it friend or foe? You know, is there a point to life? Is there a purpose to life? Is there a point to my life? To your life? We need to look at those things and see where we're operating from, you know, our very basic fundamental beliefs about life. I believe that the answers to those questions are spiritual answers. And I believe that the answers to our insecurities and our fears and our complaints and our judgments are spiritual answers. I want to, I'm going to leave the camera for a minute. I'd like us to just take a breath. This morning is a little different time, and I might run long, just a couple minutes long, because I feel like I have a lot to say. I want us to have a little meditation here. This is Mary O'Malley. She wrote What's in the Way is the Way. It's a fabulous book, fabulous. So if you would, just join me in centering yourself. Closing your eyes. We might have some road noise, but you know what? We're in a beautiful garden, and isn't that the yin and yang of life, right? Allow yourself to move away from the seat that you're sitting in. Whether you're here in this patio in this beautiful garden, or you're at home, wherever you happen to be, unless you're driving a vehicle, allow yourself to move from where you are in your awareness, in your mind's eye, up, 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 up. Take a seat on the moon and look back at our beloved planet Earth. And open your heart and mind as you open that mind's eye to be stunned by how the creativity of life was able to explode into the mind-boggling array of forms and colors. All the way from jungles filled with colorful parrots to pristine icebergs floating majestically in silent waters, to miles and miles of coral beds, to waves of grass dancing in the wind, to herds of baby seals with their liquid brown eyes. This universe where you find yourself has been unfolding for billions of years, birthing stars, exploding stars, and then creating out of that stardust this magical and mysterious planet that we call home. Start from the beginning and fast forward, watching the unfolding of life like a movie. And you'll see all the forms: a planet, a mountain, a ladybug, a human being, continuously appear and disappear. And in the process of all this appearing and disappearing, you have shown up. You have shown up. You have been given the gift of experiencing a tiny slice of this 13.8 billion year process. What a valuable gift this is. To be given a human life is just as rare as any of these other things happening. So allow your whole being to be open into the joy of this miracle of life. Life has been evolving for billions of years before you arrived, and it will continue after you depart. For a few precious years, you get to experience this constantly unfolding river of life. The doorway back into consciously connecting with life is in this moment. In this moment. So simply open to your life as it is right now. See it, hear it, fully experience it. This moment is uniquely different from any other moment in your life. All right, take a nice big cleansing breath and bring yourself back into your body, back into the seat where you are, into this beautiful garden, into your room where you sit at home. Into this awareness that we have some stuff that gets in the way of us experiencing the magnificence, the truly magnificence of this thing called life. Now, many of us, most of us, have probably heard that story about the two wolves. I think it's been accredited to many different indigenous tribes, Cherokees, but it's that story of the grandfather using the metaphor of the two wolves, you know, to describe to his grandson the inner conflicts that we have in life, the inner turmoil that we go through, you know, the love and the hate, the faith and the fear, the generosity and the greed, those competing conflicts that we have within ourselves. Today we're talking about anger. So anger and compassion, you know, those things that pull us in differing directions. And so the child asks the grandfather, well, which one wins? And of course he says, the one you feed, right? The one you feed. But I want to take that story a little further. So I read in the Science of Mind magazine where Carol Burbank, she has a regular monthly column. She suggests that a revision to the story. That the struggle between these opposing attitudes could be looked at a little differently. And I love this. She says, what if the wolves of our darkest side, you know, that side, that devil side, the dark side, the hate, the greed, the anger side, what if that was rooted in our fear, our grief, our disappointments, our regrets, our isolation? What if those unresolved emotions and personal wounds were actually being starved? They weren't the ones we were feeding. They were the ones we were pushing away. We were hiding. We were stuffing. We weren't feeding them. And you know what? They're wounding our future happiness because they're keeping us in a struggle. Just doing this, pushing it away, resisting it. What if we befriend it? What if we embrace it and finally heal those exiled enemies? Stuff we push away. And I think we see that playing out in society right now. You know, all the opposing beliefs. Hey, so many opposing beliefs, right? And it's creating battles that seem really endless and hopeless at times. So could that macro be the micro? Could that on the outside be what's going on in the inside? Our inner turmoil affecting the scene that's playing out on the big TV, on the big screen? Yeah, I think maybe so. So, you know, all month, I've been using Brene Brown's work in her new book, Atlas of the Heart. It's a fabulous, fabulous book, and she's focused on language and how we articulate how we have an inability, really, to articulate our emotions. So quickly, she did this study over 7 years, can you identify the feeling that you're having when you're having it? The majority of the people had 3 emotions that they could name. Happy, sad, mad, happy, sad, angry, happy, sad, pissed off. And we see that, don't we? Yeah, and it's elementary. And there's deeper work that we can do. So I had this opportunity a few times this week, to practice that. Because there's a whole fantasy world going on in here, like Disney World. Some of it's real, some of it's not real. Maybe you can relate to that. But we need to wake up because we're wasting precious lives. So it's important to understand our feelings. Friday night, Bobby and I were having our own little Mindy concert. We were casting from my phone onto our TV videos. And we were crying and we were praying and we were feeling solidarity with her family and her friends who were also feeling the same emotions. And then I began to notice that these were Facebook posts. They were Facebook posts. And somehow in my mind, during the week, I maintained the confidentiality part of being a practitioner to the point that I didn't realize that it was all public at that point. And I started feeling indignation. I was angry. Why are all these people posting this? I knew she had been sick. I was on a prayer chain. I didn't know it was public at this point. And I was indignant. How dare they? How dare they? How dare this be so public right now? And then quickly it became guilt, because I realized I have not informed my community. I have not told my beloved community that Mindy Simmons is in the process of dying. And then I felt guilty and I couldn't even go to sleep. At midnight, I'm up putting a post on Facebook to tell people. And then at the first thing in the next morning, I'm sending it out to my practitioners, still feeling guilty. And then I realized what was happening. There's always something behind the something behind the something, right? We just have to tease it apart. Because I realized in my email to the practitioners, I was saying, what should we do? What should we do? I think we should have a prayer vigil. What should we do? Right? I realized after I hit that sent button, I was out of balance. This is not a time to do. It's a time to be. It's a time to feel. So I want to ask you, what's behind your anger? What's behind resentments? What's behind regrets? Tease apart all of these feelings. Is there shame? Is there guilt? Look at it and deal with it, because it comes out sideways. It comes out some other way that you don't want it to come out that way. I don't want it to come out that way. Brene Brown says, the places we go when life doesn't go the way we planned or we want or we think should be going, it's all that gunk that comes out, right? And she says, when we're in that state, we think something or someone is to blame. We think something needs to be done. It needs to be fixed. And oftentimes our fixing means getting even. Right? Revenge. You guys ever watch Mrs. Maisel? Does anybody ever watch Mrs. Maisel? No. God, I love that show. I want to be Mrs. Maisel of the pulpit. I so want to be Mrs. Maisel of the pulpit. I know Bobby laughs because I say that in private. I just said it out loud. She said, revenge. I want revenge when somebody had done her wrong. I want revenge. She says, I'm going to sneak into your basement and fry fish. I want revenge, so much revenge, that I am going to befriend your only daughter, and I am going to introduce her to a poet, and I am going to laugh at their wedding. That's the kind of revenge I want. Anger makes us want to do something. Brené Brown calls it an action emotion. And she also calls it a full contact emotion. I want you to hear this. The research shows, other research shows, Ernest Holmes talked about this decades ago, anger damages the body. Anger damages the body. It activates the nervous system. It affects our mental stability. In her book, she talks about 87 different emotions, and more than 20 of them are related to anger. More than 20 of them are related to anger. We want to learn how to recognize and manage our feelings. Now again, I know I've gone long, but I can't finish without saying a couple more things. We can use our anger. It can be a catalyst. It can be a catalyst for change in our personal lives, right? In our personal lives. It can be an indicator button that we use to pause and to find the cause behind what we're feeling. To pause and find the cause. When we befriend our emotions, we can ask ourselves questions like, what do you want to show me? What does this anger want to show me? What does it want me to know? And again, on the large stage of society, I think there's few of us that are unaffected by the anger that's going on in politics, in government, and every aspect really of civility, right? Right. Or the lack thereof. So, there's few of us unaffected by that, but how many of us are evolved in making a difference? How many of us are channeling those feelings, using them as a catalyst for change? And what about if you behave poorly? Let me touch upon that. If you were triggered and you reacted, make amends. Please make amends and do it as quickly as you can. Make amends to yourself, make amends to the other person, and do it as quickly as you can. Which brings me lastly to forgiveness. Forgiveness. There's so much written on that. Colin Tipping says it's a matter of choice. You know what? I want to forgive so I can move on. I want to forgive so I can get on with my day, you know? Unforgiveness keeps us locked. Keeps us locked in the story. It keeps us connected to the offender. And again, I'm not talking about trauma. Some people, you know, need to work with someone to do that work. But you know when you can get on the other side of something, when you're just hanging on to it. Nadia Bolz-Weber, who is just a phenomenal human being in my mind, she talks about this in a really wonderful way. And she says that our unforgiveness is like a chain. It's a chain, and forgiveness is the snapping of that chain. The chains that keep us bound. And didn't Ernest Holmes talk about what binds us also frees us? What binds us also frees us. Forgiveness is badass, you know? Forgiveness is saying, you know what? I am worthy of a good life. I am a divine human being. I am worthy of a good life. I'm done with this. I'm done. I let it go. I release it. I bless you. We're done. Amen. We're done, you know? That's what it is. That's what forgiveness is. Nadia Bolz-Weber says we're freedom fighters. Those that forgive are freedom fighters. People that are free laugh more. They see more beauty. They find the light in the darkness. So ask yourself, who do you need to forgive? And do it. And they don't have to be here. They don't have to be here to forgive them. It's your work. It's your work. Do it. Lastly, finally, M. Scott Peck last week, I shared with you his definition of love, the willingness to support your own or someone else's spiritual growth. That's it, right? That's it. The willingness to support somebody's spiritual growth. It's always a time for love. Always. Misery might like company, but so does joy, and joy throws a better party. That is it.
Woo-woo.
You're on.
Whoa. Well, after that, I'm going to play something a little uplifting. Kirtan, by the way, is a Sanskrit word meaning repeat. So let's say I'll say something like spirit rising, 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 spirit rising now, and then the audience repeats it. The great thing about Kirtan is it's audience participation. You guys, if you never came to one, you should try it. People bring instruments, people sing, people meditate. It's just fabulous. Anyway, sitting to my left is a dear friend of mine who's a huge inspiration to me in my life. This is Rabbi Shohama Wiener, and she wrote this song, and it's called Spirit Rising. You could do a horror to it. You can stand up. You can just love it. She'll lead us. Spirit rising, rising, rising. Spirit rising now. Sing it. Spirit rising, rising, rising. Spirit rising now. Spirit rising in my body. Spirit rising in my soul. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Hope. Hope is rising, rising, rising. Hope is rising now. Sing it. Hope is rising, rising, rising. Hope is rising now. Hope is rising in my body. Hope is rising in my soul. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Joy. Joy is rising, rising, rising. Joy is rising now. Joy is rising, rising, rising. Joy is rising now. Joy is rising in my body. Joy is rising in my soul. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Love. Love is rising, rising, rising. Love is rising now. Love is rising in my body. Love is rising in my soul. peace. Peace is rising, rising, rising. Peace is rising now. Peace is rising in my body. Peace is rising in my soul. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Back to spirit. Spirit rising, rising, rising. Spirit rising now. Spirit rising in my body. Spirit rising in my soul. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die.
Thank you, Steve. Whew. You know, every week when I stand up here, it seems like the what's gone on before me is harder and harder to follow in the sense of keeping the vibration high. Interesting that Theresa started with, we are spiritual beings having a physical experience, because as I awoke this morning, that was the first thing I had as I was rationalizing this missing of Mindy, someone who I would only got to know recently and feel that she was such a big part of my life. And I didn't know Hank, but I get it. And we are the leaf. We are the leaf. This form that we have is temporary. The spirit that we have is permanent. And that's what it's really about. And that's a circulation. It's a flow. It's a movement. And so we're here to talk about the circulation and the flow, and that supports this Center for Spiritual Living Cultural Coast. And so to give forth from that energy, you know, the not giving is a form of fear, and what we fear and what we resist persists in our lives. A wise friend of mine this week said that we should take our fears to lunch and get to really know them so that we can release them. You know, it's interesting to me how the wisdom is just flowing everywhere. When we're open to the wisdom, it's there for us. So love them. Just, you know, my Rev G came from a Kirtan group that I played with for a couple of years, so I get it. So just taking a moment to recognize all that we have all received, regardless of what your situation. We have all received a lot, and we're here as spiritual beings to give forth from the wisdom, the knowledge, the plentifulness of what we have received. And as we give forth, I know that the universe is conspiring for each of our highest good in this and every moment, no matter what it looks like. And it is for us to embrace that unfoldment and unfold in a way that we cannot imagine. So in this moment, I bless the giver, I bless the gift. I know it is all good and it is all spirit. And so it is. And for those in attendance, we do have baskets around what is now our nature sanctuary. And so please give freely. Love and blessings. Over to Bobby.
Thank you, Rev G. Thank you. Everybody, let's sing. I receive the gift of life and pass it on. I receive the gift of love and pass it on. I receive the gift of joy and pass it on. I receive all good and pass it on. I receive the gift of life and pass it on. I receive the gift of love and pass it on. I receive the gift of joy and pass it on. I receive all good and pass it on.
I have just a few announcements. I want to thank those of you that are here. I really love having people in the space with me, so I appreciate you being here very much. Just a couple announcements. First, you may or may not know, and I don't have all the details because I was just seeing it for the first time this morning. There's a rally. There's a couple rallies within walking distance of here today, and very appropriate to our experience together this morning, I think. The rallies around love, you know, they're about love, don't you think? They're about love. And very unfortunately, this week there were anti-Semitic flyers that were distributed in Sarasota this week. So I apologize to all my Jewish beloveds here.
I accept your apology.
Yeah. You know, I agree, we need to be done. We need to be done.
Doesn't stop.
And there's also a rally, a march over the bridge for Say Gay, in response to our Florida government's desire to remove any conversation in our schools regarding sexual orientation, love, and the beautiful array that it shows up. I apologize to my friends that are LGBTQ. I apologize. We are people of love, simply said. And so I ask you to take your anger and your resentments and all of that and channel it for good. Speak up and use your voice. Use your voice. And with that, there are announcements that are going to roll on the screen. You can see those if you're at home. For those of you here, Rev G has a book club coming up. It's in person or online. It is, they're using The Power of Eight, the book The Power of Eight, which is powerful work. And it starts in March. Get that information from us, if those of you that are here, if you're interested. I don't want to talk anymore. I want to see what you have for us to close us out in love.
Thank you, Don.
Thank you all.
Be the lighthouse. Be the lighthouse so no ship can crash near you. Let us become a beacon of hope to any lost soul. A light through the darkness. May we shine so brightly that no person could be lost near us, so no person will ever feel alone again. Mindy was and still is a lighthouse, a beautiful shining light. Hank I know a lot of you guys didn't know him, but when he walked into a room, right, Satya, the whole room lit up. He had a smile and a way about him. It's just, well, I'm going to say unbelievable, but I guess not. These things do happen. So this mantra, by the way, a mantra is an instrument of mind, and through sound vibrations, you can go into a deep state of meditation. That's what a mantra is. So this is called Be the Lighthouse. Be the lighthouse, shine your light, so no ship can crash near you. Be the lighthouse, light the path with pure be the lighthouse, shine your light, so no ship can crash near you. Be the lighthouse, light the path with pure be the lighthouse, light the path with pure light. Be the lighthouse, shine your light, so no ship can crash near you. Be the lighthouse, light the path with pure light. Why go to G? Why go to G? Sanam. Why go to G? Why go to G? Sanam. Why go to G? Why go to G? sky, so no ship can crash. Hey, you. Be the lighthouse, light the path with pure light, with pure light. Namaste. Sat Nam. Go in peace. Be healthy. Love you all.